Exploring the mysteries of Kabbalah, the attraction of the unknown and the true meaning. Save everyone, may the power of Kabbalah be with everyone. Welcome to another journey of exploration and discovery. Today, we enter the intriguing world of Kabbalah, a mystical tradition with deep roots in Judaism but which long ago transcended religious boundaries. If you are someone seeking to understand the hidden dimensions of human existence and the universe, or simply curious to learn more about Kabbalah, this video is for you. Let's embark on this journey together, from intrigue to truth, as we explore the secrets of Kabbalah. So get ready for a fascinating and enriching journey. Kabbalah is a form of Jewish mysticism that has ancient roots and seeks to understand deep and esoteric aspects of the universe and human existence. I will provide more information about Kabbalah and its implications. Kabbalah is an esoteric tradition within Judaism that involves the exploration of metaphysical and spiritual concepts. It has been practiced over the centuries by scholars, rabbis, and individuals interested in delving into the hidden dimensions of reality. The word Kabbalah itself means to receive or tradition, indicating the transmission of spiritual knowledge from generation to generation. Kabbalah teachings often focus on symbols, numbers, Hebrew letters, and occult patterns to explore deep questions about creation, the nature of God, the human soul, and the structure of the universe. She seeks a deeper understanding of the relationships between the divine and the material, the spiritual and the earthly. However, it is important to note that Kabbalah is a complex and multifaceted tradition with different schools of thought and interpretations. It involves both intellectual study and spiritual quest, with practices ranging from meditation to textual analysis. The idea that Kabbalah may be shrouded in mystery and intrigue, but that its popularity may have distorted its true meaning. It could be argued that, due to the esoteric nature of Kabbalah, it is often misunderstood or superficially interpreted. The excerpt also mentions Kabbalah's association with four element-related personality types. This may be referring to some specific Kabbalah interpretation that relates personality traits to elements such as earth, water, fire, and air. Remember that Kabbalah is a vast and nuanced field, and different people may have varying interpretations. If you are interested in exploring Kabbalah further, it may be helpful to look for reliable sources, books, and qualified teachers who can guide you in this study. Beyond the doors of perception, and we seek that mystery so it's not. Surprising that people are intrigued when you hear the mysterious esoteric teachings. It is true that many people have a natural attraction to secrets, mysteries, and exotic things. This can be attributed to several psychological and emotional factors. Let me explore this concept a little further. Innate curiosity. From an early age, humans demonstrate an innate curiosity towards the world around them. The search for the unknown is an integral part of our nature. We want to discover what is beyond our current reach. Intellectual challenge. The act of uncovering secrets and solving mysteries can be intellectually stimulating. The human brain is naturally inclined to seek out new challenges and solve puzzles. Sense of accomplishment. Uncovering something hidden can provide a sense of accomplishment and achievement. This is because, when unlocking a secret, we often feel that we have mastered something that was previously unknown or complex. Sense of exclusivity. Knowledge of esoteric secrets or teachings can give people a sense of belonging to a select group of individuals who possess that knowledge. This can increase self-esteem and a sense of importance. Escape from routine. Daily life can often be monotonous. The pursuit of mystery and the exotic can serve as a form of escapism, allowing people to immerse themselves in a world of imagination and possibility. Spiritual connections. Many esoteric teachings are associated with deep spiritual and existential issues. People may be drawn to these teachings as a way to explore transcendental issues and find deeper meaning in life. Sense of fascination. The unknown is often surrounded by an aura of fascination. The idea that there is something beyond the obvious sparks the imagination and can be exciting. However, it is also important to have a balanced approach towards these attractions. While the search for secrets and mysteries can be exciting and enriching, it is also crucial to discern between legitimate information and unfounded speculation. In many cases, the pursuit of the exotic can lead to misinformation and unsubstantiated beliefs. In the context of Kabbalah or other esoteric traditions, the key is to seek a deep and grounded understanding, rather than just being wrapped up in the aura of mystery. Exploring such teachings requires a critical mind and a balanced approach to discerning between true wisdom and fanciful notions. You hear the secrets of the soul, the secrets of the cosmos, the blueprint and DNA of the existence of universe and beyond the blue, the divine plan that makes us work. Those are fascinating elements, and that's why, on the one hand, yes, it plays a certain resonant element. These themes are often associated with a search for a deeper understanding of existence and the meaning of life. I will address each of these points in more detail. Secrets of the soul. The idea of exploring the secrets of the soul is linked to the quest to understand the deeper dimensions of consciousness and human nature. Many spiritual and philosophical traditions contemplate the nature of the soul, its origins, purpose, and destiny. The quest for self-knowledge and transcendence often involves this exploration. Secrets of the cosmos. Exploring the secrets of the cosmos embraces the desire to understand the origin, evolution, and nature of the universe. Astronomy, cosmology, and theoretical physics are fields that seek to unravel the mysteries of the cosmos, including the nature of dark matter, dark energy, distant galaxies, and the expansion of the universe. Design and DNA of existence. The investigation of the design underlying the existence and functioning of the universe is often associated with theoretical physics and cosmology. Understanding fundamental laws of nature, such as string theory or multiverse theory, is part of this endeavor. Furthermore, the study of DNA not only unravels the mechanisms of life, but also raises philosophical questions about the origin of life and our connection to other life forms in the cosmos.
Divine plan. The conception of a divine plan suggests an order or purpose underlying creation. Many religions and belief systems have different interpretations of how this order manifests itself and what the human role is in this plan. The quest for a deeper understanding of the divine plan often leads people to explore spiritual and philosophical concepts. It's understandable that contemplating these elements resonates with many people as they address fundamental questions about our existence, our connection to the universe, and our search for meaning. The search for answers to these profound questions has been an important part of human history, driving science, spirituality, and philosophy. However, it is important to keep an open, critical, and grounded mind when exploring these topics. The complexity of these topics often requires in-depth study and a balanced approach to avoid falling into unfounded speculation or pseudoscientific ideas. In the US, wanting to know how kids like to open up and see what makes something work, we want to know. Which makes things complicated, and we hear that Kabbalah teaches that, so we're interested, but what's the big deal? Care must be taken that it does not feed into and spread to sensationalism. Exploring how things work and understanding the complexities of the world around us is an important part of education and growing up. However, when it comes to complex topics like Kabbalah, it is important to approach them responsibly to avoid sensationalism or distorted interpretations. Here are some guidelines to consider. Proper context. When introducing concepts such as Kabbalah, it is critical to provide historical, cultural, and religious context. Explain that Kabbalah is an esoteric tradition of Judaism and that its study requires a deeper understanding of Jewish culture and scripture. Educational approach. Consider approaching Kabbalah as part of a broader study of religions, philosophy, and spirituality. This will allow children to understand that Kabbalah is just one of many approaches to understanding deep issues. Emphasis on respect. Emphasize the importance of respecting the beliefs of others. Explain that different people have different belief systems and that it is important to treat all perspectives with respect and empathy. Emphasis on interpretation. Kabbalah is a tradition that can have many interpretations and approaches. explain that different scholars and schools of thought can have varying perspectives on his teachings. Avoid sensationalism, avoid portraying Kabbalah or any other spiritual tradition as unsubstantiated, magical, or supernatural. Emphasize that studying Kabbalah involves learning, reflection, and often years of dedicated study. Promote critical thinking. Encourage children to ask questions, research, and develop critical thinking. This will help avoid a superficial or sensationalist approach. Supervision and guidance. If you are interested in approaching Kabbalah in an educational setting, consider involving experts or teachers who have in-depth knowledge of the tradition. This will ensure that information is conveyed accurately and appropriately. Emphasize responsible exploration. It is important that children understand that the pursuit of knowledge must be conducted in a responsible and reasoned manner, avoiding misleading or speculative information. When tackling complex topics like Kabbalah, the focus should be on education, respect for different perspectives, and the promotion of critical thinking. This will help ensure that the search for understanding is conducted in a constructive and informed manner. The idea that those in the know often do not openly share their knowledge, while those who talk about it may lack deep understanding. This creates a dilemma that can be applied to many esoteric or philosophical traditions. I'll expand a little more on this perspective. Esoteric nature. Kabbalah is an esoteric tradition, which means that its teachings are often considered profound and secretive in nature. The idea that those who possess advanced knowledge can choose not to share it openly is common in many esoteric traditions. This can be motivated by a desire to maintain the integrity and purity of the teachings, as well as a belief that knowledge can be misinterpreted or used in inappropriate ways. The quest for mystery. As mentioned earlier, human beings are often drawn to mysteries and secrets. The idea that there is deep, hidden knowledge can increase the appeal and curiosity around Kabbalah and other esoteric traditions. The evolution of disclosure. However, over time, some esoteric traditions have seen an evolution in the dissemination of teachings once considered restricted. This may be motivated by a desire to share meaningful and beneficial knowledge with a wider audience. However, disclosure must be made in a responsible and informed manner. Varied interpretations. Kabbalah, as mentioned earlier, has varied and often complex interpretations. The fact that different scholars and schools of thought have different approaches can contribute to the dilemma between sharing or keeping knowledge. Balance between sharing and respect. It is important to strike a balance between sharing knowledge to promote understanding and respect for traditions, while avoiding sensationalism, misrepresentation, and superficiality. In the end, the decision to share or restrict knowledge of Kabbalah or any esoteric tradition is complex and often involves cultural, philosophical, and personal considerations. As society evolves, some traditions may opt for a more open approach, while others may remain more reserved. The important thing is to approach these topics with a critical mind, respect for traditions, and a quest for deep understanding. The word Kabbalah has its roots in the Hebrew language and carries a deep meaning within the context of Jewish and esoteric traditions. Understanding the meaning of the word is indeed a crucial starting point for exploring this journey of knowledge and self-knowledge. The word Kabbalah, or Kabbalah, in Hebrew has its origin in the Hebrew root kibbul, which means to receive. Therefore, the term Kabbalah can be roughly translated as received tradition or that which is received. This reflects the idea that Kabbalah is a spiritual and mystical tradition involving the reception and transmission of esoteric knowledge, often considered occult or revealed only to a select circle of individuals. Kabbalah, within the Jewish context, involves the exploration of the spiritual and metaphysical dimensions of existence, including the relationship between the divine and the human, the cosmos and the soul. It is a quest to understand the underlying laws of the universe and deepens interpretations of sacred texts, especially the Torah. Over the centuries, Kabbalah has developed several schools of thought and systems of interpretation, each with their own approaches to understanding the mysteries of existence. She uses symbolism, numerology, meditation, and in-depth studies of Hebrew letters to explore questions of meaning, connection, and transcendence. Therefore, understanding the meaning of the word Kabbalah is indeed a key to begin to explore the depths of this spiritual tradition. However, it is important to remember that the journey through Kabbalah is a quest that requires study, reflection, and respect for underlying cultural and religious traditions. Through this exploration, you can open yourself up to a deeper understanding of the dimensions of existence and yourself. That means, if I have a cell phone and I have a signal that I'm receiving, In Kabbalah lore, receiving does not just refer to a passive transmission of information, as when you receive a signal on your cell phone. Rather, the idea of receiving in Kabbalah involves an active and deep process of searching and connecting. Here are some ways to understand what receive means in Kabbalah. Receiving deep knowledge. Kabbalah teaches that there is deep, esoteric, and spiritual knowledge that can be accessed through study, meditation, and contemplation. The Kabbalah practitioner is actively engaged in receiving these insights, exploring deeper dimensions of existence and spirituality. Connection with the divine. In Kabbalah, the act of receiving also refers to a direct connection with the divine, be it God or a transcendental reality. The practitioner seeks to establish an intimate and personal relationship with this source of energy and wisdom, receiving insights and inspirations. Inner exploration. Kabbalah also involves the inner journey of self-knowledge. By receiving in this context, the practitioner explores his own nature, emotions, desires, and qualities, in search of a deeper understanding of himself and his purpose. Alignment with universal laws. The idea of receiving in Kabbalah can be seen as attunement with the universal laws that govern creation. By understanding and integrating these laws, the practitioner aligns with the flow of existence and can receive insights into how to live in accordance with these laws. Receiving in Kabbalah is not just about passively absorbing information, but about actively engaging in a process of spiritual exploration and deep introspection. It's about connecting with deeper dimensions of reality, transcending the limitations of the material world, and receiving insights that can guide the spiritual journey and quest for understanding. Although all knowledge is passed from teacher to student, from parent to child, from generation to generation, which means the student has to be in receptive mode or receiver or receptacle, receiving from the giver of the transmitter even when it comes to these teachings. In the tradition of Kabbalah and many other esoteric traditions, the relationship between teacher and student, or between transmitter and receiver, is of utmost importance. The notion of receiving in Kabbalah often involves this dynamic of transmitting knowledge from a giver to a receptive receiver. Here are some additional considerations on this aspect. Passing on wisdom. In Kabbalah and other esoteric traditions, knowledge is often passed down from generation to generation. This is because the wisdom accumulated over time is considered valuable and profound, and tradition seeks to preserve and transmit it authentically. Master-student relationship. The relationship between master and student goes beyond the mere transmission of information. It is a relationship based on trust, respect, and a shared search for deep understanding. The student must be open and receptive to teaching, while the teacher responsibly shares his wisdom. Inner receptivity. Being a vessel does not just refer to passivity, but the ability to be open and willing to receive knowledge. It involves humility, curiosity, and a genuine desire to understand the teachings on a deeper level. Transcending limitations. The idea of being a receiver also relates to transcending the limitations of the ego and mind. By opening up to the teaching, the student seeks to go beyond their preconceptions and limited understandings, allowing new perspectives and insights to enter. Transmission integrity. To maintain the integrity of the teachings, many esoteric traditions value master-to-student transmission to ensure knowledge is not distorted or misinterpreted over time. Transmitter's responsibility. The donor, or transmitter, also has a responsibility to share knowledge in an ethical and informed manner, ensuring that it is transmitted accurately and with respect for traditions. Therefore, in Kabbalah and other esoteric traditions, the idea of receiving is not just about passing on information, but also about building meaningful relationships, exploring within, and seeking a deeper understanding of reality. The study of Kabbalah is often seen as a process of receiving and imparting spiritual wisdom, and the dynamic of being a receiver or learner is critical for several reasons. Preservation of integrity. The tradition of Kabbalah, like other esoteric traditions, values preserving the integrity of the teachings. In-depth knowledge is passed down through generations to ensure interpretations and nuances are not distorted or lost over time. The direct relationship between master and student helps maintain this integrity. Deep understanding. The study of Kabbalah requires a deep and often complex understanding of the spiritual and symbolic concepts involved. The master, as someone with experience and wisdom, is able to guide the student to understand these concepts in a deeper way, avoiding superficial or incorrect interpretations. Experiential transmission. In addition to imparting intellectual knowledge, the teacher can share spiritual experiences and personal insights that enrich the student's understanding. This creates a deeper connection with the transmitted knowledge. Guided practice. The study of Kabbalah often includes spiritual practices, meditations, and contemplations. Having a master to guide the student in this regard is essential to ensure that the practices are carried out correctly and with due understanding. Dynamic of questions and answers. The master-student relationship also allows the student to ask questions, clarify doubts, and deepen their understanding through direct discussions. Egoic transcendence. Being a receiver in the Kabbalah tradition is not just about acquiring knowledge, but also about transcending the limitations of the ego and the mind. The student learns to be humble, receptive, and open to a deeper understanding of reality. The dynamic of being a receiver in the Kabbalah tradition is critical to ensuring that spiritual knowledge is conveyed authentically and that the student is able to delve into the depths of the tradition. The relationship between teacher and student is not just about passing on information, but about spiritual development and seeking deep insights into the nature of reality. The Kabbalah tradition, like many other esoteric and spiritual traditions, emphasizes the importance of receiving knowledge from authentic and reliable sources, rather than relying solely on personal ideas or speculation. This is for several important reasons. Integrity and authenticity. Kabbalah is a deeply rooted tradition with centuries of development and accumulated wisdom. To preserve the authenticity of the teachings, it is critical to study under the guidance of experienced teachers who deeply understand the tradition. Depth of concepts. Kabbalah concepts are often complex and symbolic, involving layers of meaning. Having guidance from a master helps ensure that concepts are understood correctly and that the depth of wisdom is appreciated. Avoid distortion. By relying only on your own ideas, there may be a risk of distorting or misinterpreting the teachings. Guidance from a master helps to avoid superficial or erroneous interpretations. Transmission of experience. Masters in the Kabbalah tradition often share their own spiritual experiences, which enriches the student's understanding. This goes beyond intellectual ideas and offers deeper insight. Cultural and historical context. Kabbalah is rooted in Jewish culture and history. A teacher can help contextualize teachings within the broader context of Jewish tradition. Spiritual development. The spiritual quest is not just about acquiring intellectual knowledge, but also about personal transformation. You've captured a fundamental aspect of not just Kabbalah, but any deep quest for knowledge, especially when it comes to complex and subtle subjects. Humility, openness, and care are crucial aspects when dealing with intricate and important areas of human existence. I'll expand on a few more points based on your observations. Care and delicacy. As with delicate surgery, exploring deep knowledge requires care and delicacy. Each step must be carefully planned and executed to avoid errors or distortions. Humble approach. Humility is an essential virtue in any pursuit of deep knowledge. Acknowledging the vastness of what we don't yet know helps to avoid arrogance and keeps us open to new perspectives. Understanding human complexities. When dealing with subtle and complex areas of being human, such as spirituality, it is important to recognize that there are no simple or one-dimensional answers. Having a mode of reception allows us to be willing to learn and deepen our understanding. Minimizing prejudices. Arrogance and prejudices can cloud our vision and prevent genuine understanding. An attitude of humility and openness allows us to explore ideas without being trapped by our own preconceived notions. Acceptance of human limitation. Recognizing our own human limitation reminds us that there will always be more to learn and understand. This encourages us to continue seeking knowledge and growth. Responsibility in transmitting. Just as surgeons have a responsibility to care for their patients' health, those who share deep knowledge have a responsibility to do so ethically, accurately, and respectfully. Continuous quest. The quest for deep knowledge is a continuous journey. Openness to learning from others, even if we have prior knowledge, enriches our understanding and helps us avoid stagnation. In summary, a humble approach, sensitivity to complexities and recognition of our own limitations are fundamental when exploring deep areas of human existence, whether in spirituality, philosophy, or any other field of study. These principles not only ensure deeper understanding, but also contribute to personal and spiritual growth. A crucial point about the importance of maintaining an open, humble, and receptive state of mind, especially when exploring sensitive issues related to life, death, and the inner aspects of existence. This is particularly relevant when tackling topics that involve deep philosophical, spiritual, and emotional issues. I will expand further on this point. Sensitivity to inner issues. Issues related to life, death, spirituality, and human existence involve deep and complex aspects of our experience. These issues are often intertwined with our deepest emotions, beliefs, and values. Every detail matters, just like in a delicate surgery, where every detail can have a significant impact on the patient's health and internal issues. Every thought, insight, and reflection can influence our understanding and our perspective on these issues. Maintain a receiving mode. The approach of Kabbalah, or being a constant student, is essential when exploring these sensitive topics. This means being open to different perspectives, being willing to learn from others, and recognizing that there is always more to understand. Continuous exploration. Questions of life, death, and existence do not have simple and definitive answers. The quest for understanding in these areas is an ongoing journey, and humility about the process is essential. Respect for differences. When dealing with deep internal issues, it is important to recognize that different people may have different beliefs, experiences, and perspectives. Openness to learning from the diversity of human experiences is valuable. Balancing with one's experience. While remaining in a student state is crucial, it is also important to balance this with one's own experience and personal intuition. The inner journey is unique to each individual. Cultivate empathy. When exploring issues related to life and death, empathizing with the experiences of others is key. Deep understanding often requires the ability to put yourself in the shoes of others. In short, when dealing with the sensitive issues of life and death, maintaining an attitude of humility, openness, and a willingness to learn is essential. This approach allows for a deeper exploration and a more complete understanding of the complexities involved. A fundamental dynamic in human life that involves the roles of givers and receivers, transmitters and receptacles. These roles are inherent in our interaction with the world around us and can be observed in many areas of life. Here are some considerations regarding this dynamic. Interdependence. Human life is profoundly interdependent. From the beginning, we are receivers, depending on the care and support of others for our survival and growth. This initial state of receptivity is critical to healthy development. Learning and education. When we are young, we are recipients of knowledge, education, and guidance. Parents, teachers, and caregivers play the role of transmitting knowledge and values to us. Give and take cycle. As we grow, we become more able to give and contribute to others. The give and take cycle is an essential part of how human relationships work, where balanced exchange is valued. Student role, as mentioned earlier, to be a student is to be in a state of reception. This is especially critical when we are learning and seeking to understand deep or subtle concepts. Spiritual development. In many spiritual traditions, the journey begins with humility and openness to receive wisdom from more experienced sources. Spiritual transformation often involves transcending the ego and becoming a channel for higher values. Balance and harmony. The harmony between giving and receiving is crucial for balance in our lives. Both the role of giver and receiver have their place and importance in different contexts. Personal growth. The willingness to be a receiver, a student, is an essential part of personal growth. Recognizing that there is always more to learn and that we can be enriched by the wisdom of others helps us to expand our perspectives. So the dynamic of being a receiver and a giver is an inherent part of the human experience. It extends through all stages of life and influences our relationships, learning, and spiritual growth. The openness to assume both roles is fundamental to a balanced and enriching life. The initial phase of a child's life, when he is immersed in a process of absorbing knowledge and influences from the environment around him. This stage is often compared to a dry sponge starting to absorb water, or an empty container starting to fill up. Here are some additional considerations for this initial learning process. Environmental sensitivity. Children are naturally sensitive to the environment in which they grow up. They observe, absorb, and imitate the behaviors, values, and standards they see around them, especially from those who play an important role in their lives, such as parents, caregivers, and teachers. Critical phase of development. The early childhood years are often considered a critical phase of development, as this is when the foundation for personality, beliefs, and values is being laid. Experiences at this stage can have a lasting impact on a child's life,